Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Hello and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I'm joined by my fellow Strandies, Philip and Daniel. Gentlemen, our planet was just going along fine around City Alpha, and then just someone hit the parking brake, and now we're stuck here with our death moon above us. What's going on, guys? How is your Star Trek week?
That's
been?
no moon, Darren. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you know, it's true. It's actually fairly small if you think about it. But
well, I think I'm usually not the techie guy, but I being from the American South, I do have some duct tape, and I feel like I can probably get this planet moving again. Do you have any gum, Daniel?
No. Well, we're talking today about Discovery Bay, Anstrorder, Trans Bay, Apton Bay, Guest Bay. Sorry, my YouTube broke for about half a second. I fixed it real fast because nobody wants to listen to that. But we are joined today by a fellow friend of the show and representing our Netflix contingent, Lindsay. Welcome to City Alpha 3. We're sorry you're stranded with us.
It's a delight as ever.
And no, we're totally fine with the fact that you get to enjoy this with your Netflix subscription. It won't ever come up again through the next hour. I'm just saying.
It's fine. I'm just going to say short treks over and over again.
If you say it 3 times in the mirror.
Then Katzenberger shows up in front of you. But no, we're excited to have you here, and we're going to be talking about the 4th episode of season 2 of Discovery, an Obol for Charon, which, as we kind of talked about the end of last week, that had to do with an Obol was a thing placed on the mouth of a dead person before they went on the barge of the dead, not to Tovakor or Grethor, but instead in just modern day, Greek mythology, it can't be. I want them to start quoting like Klingon mythology in the titles, then we'll be going somewhere. But
now
that's true.
I do have 2 not episode related, but kind of episode related. So last week I mentioned the carpool karaoke for the Discovery. Right. I did watch the whole video.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and so I noticed there was a certain song they sang that happened to be a teaser for what we saw in this episode, which
that's true.
For good or for ill.
Well, classical music, everybody loves it.
Yeah, Look, it is 2019. I can't tell you how many times my wife and I will be like, remember that song? What's that favorite song, from 1819? Yeah, go ahead. I'll pick it up as soon as you start singing.
Oh, did they sing? Did they sing Bowie?
That's what I try to do every time. I try to think about that. It's like, okay, you're talking about 200 years in the past. That's like talking about revolutionary times.
World turned upside down. We do that famous drinking song that we all remember the words to. So
I'll get on my harpsichord. It's gonna be great. All that old school stuff.
You know what? Some of us sing in classical music quite regularly.
That's true. At least this classical music has words in it, so that makes it a little easier to sing.
Mm-hmm. Also, I was listening to a relatively new podcast from a countryman of Lindsay's who had special guest Whoopi Goldberg on.
Ooh.
David Tennant has a podcast. That's actually not the name of the title, but anyway. And
that's all he needs to be the name of his podcast.
But yes, it's not often you get the doctor. It's
not far off it, I don't
about
think.
Star Trek because he asked her about her story about Nichelle Nichols and Lieutenant Uhura and Star Trek and her calling, and they literally put out into the universe because he's like, Patrick Stewart's back in it, and she's like, well, they haven't called me. And he's like, well, maybe we want to put it out right now. She's like, yeah, okay, let's put it out right now.
I mean, everybody knows
available.
that she wants to be back in Star Trek for like the last 30 years. That's not a surprise, but
yeah.
Hopefully they'll let her this time. I would be happy to see guidance back.
She was saying, because when the three of us went to Las Vegas, we actually saw Whoopi Goldberg at the Star Trek convention. It was actually pretty cool. That was her first convention that I know of, Star Trek convention. But she had mentioned that she had told LeVar Burton in the 80s, when he was, he's like, I want to be on Star Trek, to tell them. And then like a year later, she's like, oh, did you tell him? He's like, they don't believe me. And so like she called up Gene Roddenberry, like he's yes, and like it took like 3 meetings for her to convince him. Yeah, I really want to do this because this means a lot and blah blah blah. And so she's doing the same thing now. Yeah, I'm a big Star. I want to do Star Trek. Please.
Does she mean it again? Are you sure, Philip? Because I don't know. Maybe.
She might have a little more free time now than she did back when TNG was popular. But...
That is true. Yeah, maybe she's going to be the chief engineer.
Yeah. Well, I know she'll never love the Enterprise as much as engineer what's-his-face, because...
Oh, that was hilarious. Nice line. Bringing it back.
It was a lovely line.
Right.
I liked
it. Let's circle round into this episode. Philip, you're limited to 3 negative comments in this entire episode. But, no, so...
Per storyline, or...?
Oh, jeez. Okay, so I'll just start off with... It definitely took me 2 watches to kind of digest this episode. I'm not saying it's a terrible episode. I'm just saying based off of the what?
I'm not saying it's a terrible episode.
No, I would just say based on the last 3 episodes, I felt like we were shifting more into this kind of episodic base, and this had so many threads and it felt like so many plots, which I know overall it was really just 2, but there were a lot of connections to those 2. So it was definitely a lot to take in. Lindsay, you're our guest. We'll let you open up with what was your opening feelings for this episode. And I'm assuming you've been watching through Discovery season 2, and this wasn't like your first foray with. Because I mean, I was sorry if that's the case, because that would not be good.
No, you're fine. So I watched season 1 as well, and this is obviously the 4th episode I've seen of season 2. I really enjoyed it. I think you're right. There was a lot going on. I counted 4 separate plots, at least one of which I think we could have lost. I don't really feel that Spock's shuttle had any real value.
We got to have that Red Angel thread. If you don't have a Red Angel thread, at least in some part of the episode, you might as well not write that episode. I mean, that's obviously the case.
That's one argument. I wouldn't necessarily make it, but that's just me. So yeah, well, I felt like that was a bit unnecessary. I really enjoyed it. I thought somebody online who I think you might know suggested that you're either an episodes 1 and 3 person or an episodes 2 and 4. I'm definitely episodes 2 and 4.
What was 1 was Brother. I liked Brother. 2 was Eden. Yeah, I liked Eden as well. So I guess I'm a 1 through 3 and not 4, but maybe I don't know.
I'm a 1 and 2er.
Oh, okay.
3 was a bit of a mess for me. This episode, it wasn't bad at all. It was just a little bit messy, and so.
Look, we don't like to work for our commentary. We like to be able to just easily just talk about what the episode was this week. Takes maybe an hour. It's easy, but Star Trek, you're making it hard because you're packing so much into this episode. It's gonna take us a while. But Daniel, pick a plot point.
Oh boy! I get to do
any plot point.
Yes, any plot point.
Weird card
except for Spock Shuttle, because we already basically covered all that there is about Spock Shuttle in just that one sentence. So.
Yeah, that was. But it was so distracting every time. They brought it up every 5 minutes. Just be like, we get it. All right, we don't need to know.
Well, no. Well, Pike brought it up every 5 seconds. That was apparently all that Pike was caring about.
But
this was not Pike's finest hour.
Giant Death Planet. But what about Spock's shuttle, guys?
I did.
There's a time pressure. It
I
must
didn't
be
realize,
Spock
sorry,
Shuttle.
interrupting Daniel. It was an interesting plot point for me as I watched the episode that I realized one of the central conflicts was Pike not listening to his officers. Like, time's going, and he's like, I don't know, guys. I'm not sure it's science-y.
But, yeah, what happened to, is it because Saru is literally not sitting there? Because every other time there's been sciencey stuff, you've let Saru sit in the chair and just let him do his thing. Except for this time.
I feel like we
but
should fire
Spock
torpedoes.
Shuttle, guys! Spock Shuttle!
I've always felt that Pike was a good balance between perhaps sort of Kirk and Picard, but he's never been less Janeway than he was in this episode. Like, you can just imagine her sizing the hell out of it.
If you want me to pick a plot point,
Yes.
Darren, I'll go with not only the biggest one, but the most interesting one to me, and the one I felt was the most Star Trek, was the mystery of the big ball thing, the big sphere,
Yep.
which was great.
The sphere, yes. I have arrows drawing from the sphere. It over connects to different subplots. But yes, the sphere is.
Me too.
I mean, all we're doing is we're trying to do the A plot, guys. We're just trying to go after Spock Shuttle, but boom, this is apparently the B plot. Spear pulls us out of warp, which is never a good thing. I was getting a very V'ger vibe. I didn't think they really wanted to go there, but I think they definitely could have.
I think we need that old TOS music, like in the Corbomite maneuver with the flashy jewel ball. We just need that, like.
I mean, okay, sorry, we'll never sing again. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, and that led to, I mean, at the beginning we didn't know what it was, but it led to the UT breakdown. I mean, that's the big first act. And that was really cool, like the way they did it, and like their displays were changing. So it took me to the second time to realize, it was basically, it was still working, but the problem was it was changing what you were hearing to a different language that you didn't understand. So it wasn't like it just turned off, in which case you could just speak normally. But even if you spoke a different language, it was changing it before it reached everyone else's ears or something along that line. But it was like, dang, Saru, we need Saru and Uhura and, every communications officer to the bridge right now.
Well, take this for what it's worth. Whatever, I count it. In 2009, Uhura says she speaks like, oh God, I can't even remember what it is.
All three dialects
right,
of Romulan or something.
And then now Saru, of course, has 90 plus languages in his head, and I thought it was a really cool way to not only show Saru's ultra competence in this field, but also it was a lot of fun. And unlike the warp drive or something like that, where we know as Trekkies like how that stuff is supposed to work, the universal translator has always been kind of magic and whatever. So it's, to me, this isn't breaking anything. This is actually having fun with the concept in a really unique and interesting way. And of course, it's kind of like Babel, of course, from Deep Space Nine. We get the same.
They even say, "Welcome to the Tower of Babel."
Yeah. So I thought it was great. That first scene with all that sort of, when she just instantly is like just right in the middle of her sentence starts speaking Klingon. I'm like, that's cool. That's
Are you speaking Klingon? Are you speaking Klingon? And I felt like the problem went on just long enough.
Yeah.
Like it didn't get annoying. Because if it was like, oh, this is the episode where nobody talks normal, like that was too much. I'm sorry. Lindsay, what did you feel with?
And they even touched on
were you able to brush up on your Klingon a bit in part of this episode?
Was it something like a Commonwealth breakdown, like you could hear Gaelic and Welsh and?
Je ne comprends pas. Yeah, no, I really loved it as well. And what I loved is that there was a touch on, for anyone who speaks Federation Standard, they can then speak it. So there was an acknowledgement that perhaps not everybody on the bridge did speak Federation Standard.
That's right. And didn't Detmer say her console was, what did she say? It was, I'll have to look it up.
Oh, not right.
Yeah,
it was his 2-word. It was like Tal Sadan or something like that.
Yeah, like
I'm making
Tal
that up. I forget
Setian.
what it was, but.
Yeah, some TOS-ish planet that we all recognized, and yeah, no, it was really cool. And like I said, didn't go on too long, but was still really impressive too, because everybody is speaking that, so they all have to say their lines in these different, languages and have it all flow. And they did a great job. It was, every time we've been on the bridge in this season so far, it's been a lot of fun. Whether we're roll calling or we're, doing space
How many
donuts.
lines did the people get in the Ready Room episode? Or then the Ready Room.
They got a
scene?
lot, but then as soon as he got there, he's like, "Okay, guys, go back to your desks. Apparently, the meeting's been canceled."
We just have meetings in your office now when you're not here, Cap.
That was true. That we had that small Ready Room meeting, and you had, we're talking about colds, and we're sharing information, just kind of shooting the breeze.
So how did we think of Orville? I mean, Linus sorry.
He's been good. I mean, he didn't even talk the last time. He just kind of squawked, but it was, and he swore. He was, he's a great guy. Everyone seems to like
He's a
this
bit
character.
difficult to understand, honestly, for me.
Yeah.
I had some trouble
Yeah.
the first time through when I was listening to him.
Well, 6 nasal cavities. I mean,
suppose
that'll
it's
do
true.
it
You
for
can't
you.
really blame the guy.
Yeah.
I liked him though. He's cool. I'm good with Linus.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. There is a question of why were those people in the meeting? They weren't, as far as I'm aware, the senior staff, and their skill set didn't necessarily lend themselves to being the ones to solve this problem. But the actual content was fab, so we'll give them that.
Yeah. No, it worked out.
I love too that when Saru comes on the bridge, he's a little taken aback by like all these people speaking different languages, but he doesn't miss a beat. He's like having
No.
conversations in this language and that language.
And Burnham's like, "This is what's wrong." He's like, "I have ears, Lieutenant. Like, I obviously figured that out. Like,
It's good stuff.
he's very capable."
Even under the weather,
Saru
he's
is
knocking
the-
it out of the park.
And he is though. I mean, think back to like the beginning of season 1, where he's like super timid. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He's really upset about being passed over for promotion.
Has ganglia.
Here, yeah,
Too
here
soon.
he's like, here he's ready. He's ready to take the center chair. They got to give him a ship at some point.
If he'd
Hopefully
only
this
he
one.
would
We'll
sit
see.
down.
If only.
Yeah, he lost his
Maybe
timid
they
glands in this episode, so we should see
true.
some big things coming.
No, I want to see mad Saru now. I want to see Saru who like flies off the handle and starts like punching somebody.
Want to have his first contact ready.
I will
room
be
scene.
really upset.
He like Kirk Foos someone with the double-fisted back blow to the bottom. Something like that.
Well, we've already seen him kick somebody in the chest, so
That's true.
I'll be really upset if they don't change his character in some way in relation to this. I would like to see him go on a little journey of kind of risk management, that he's not perpetually terrified.
That was a.
It's like, guys, this is great. This mission's wonderful. I get to punch somebody. It's like, no, Saru, calm down, Saru. It's okay.
The Saru storyline I liked, though, for some reason, and this could just be me as it always is, when I was watching it about, like, especially when it was in the bedroom scene, which, I love the set, we can talk about that too, but just the actual
mossy
scene
interior.
where it's like, because, my wife, Jeff, is like, is he going to die? And I assume not, but I didn't know. I mean, there's a little bit, like, I would feel like we would have heard, and I didn't get any spoiled.
It's only episode 4.
Yeah, but you never know. And I was like, it would be interesting, though. It's like, if they did it, I would kind of hate them, because I need a little more preparation if you're just going to kill Saru. Even though, like, he's not necessarily my favorite, but still, I mean, it's kind of like, he's not my favorite. So.
But they killed off Michelle Yeoh in like
Yeah.
episode 2, and we were all like, "Oh, all right,
But now she
okay."
gets her own show, so it's okay. But
Yeah.
No, I felt the same way. Just that I was not 100% sure if he was not going to die. Like, it was pretty convincing. And I'm like, I don't see them changing that. But what did you think?
I was prepared to get
Daniel,
angry,
Saru?
though. I was like, if he really dies, I'm going to be
You're starting
effing-
composing your anger.
You know?
And you're like, I'm
Yeah.
ready to hit send.
Well,
I'm
Like, you
ready.
got to prepare someone for this. I mean, if they had been like, it would have been interesting. It would be really interesting if they...
Look, they prepared him. They had him sick at the dinner table in the very beginning of the episode. You were prepared.
It'd be interesting if they effed with us.
Episodic
They just had,
television.
Doug Jones thinking, but start some rumor campaign where it sounds like Doug Jones is working on something else, or and we'd be like, oh my god, it's really good.
Well, they played it.
What did you think,
They
Daniel?
played it completely straight, and that's the thing. When my girlfriend and I were watching it, she's like, we get to the scene where they're heading off the bridge, and like everybody's standing up,
Everyone's they all stand up, and you're like, oh man, there's some bagpipes playing. It's getting really sad here.
and I'm like,
I didn't spot any bagpipes.
I still didn't think it, but at that moment, I was like, oh, maybe. Like you could kind of, because it's literally it's played completely straight, and then it stops, and you kind of almost feel a little like cheated because you're like, well, okay, and then at the end you kind of get a little redemption because you're like, oh, okay, now he sees it served a purpose, at least in that storyline,
Right.
and you're like, okay, so it wasn't worthless. But
I think we're gonna get a lot of payoff too with him and his species,
Right,
Because this is a turning point for sure. He's like, he went from please catalog my diaries so that when people eventually leave Kelpia, they'll be able to see that it's possible, and to my species has been lied to, and we need to viva la revolution. Saru's heading back. Although I was just cracking myself up as you were talking about them walking off the bridge, because I totally picture someone like, I don't know who, but someone whispering, we're going to need an extra long torpedo casing. But we didn't need that. So, but I kind of see what you're saying, Daniel. Like, I didn't necessarily feel cheated by it, that it didn't happen, but I was more amazed that they actually played it so straight that I was questioning if it was even going to happen, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, because I'm looking at the timer and I'm like, there's about like 20 minutes left of the episode. Like, they could actually do this.
Yeah. Because there was a death, of course. There was the death, though. I did have shades of Riker, being asked. He got an ethics. Funny how much I'm referencing that one episode. Being asked by Worf to do the ritual suicide.
Oh, I totally thought of that too. Yeah. This is my bonsai knife. My bonsai tree knife.
I wasn't 100% sure, and maybe those who watched it more than once. Why? What he was asking? I mean, I got, but why?
I think if they cut off his ganglia, it's like he can't survive without that gland, so he will die. But if they don't cut it off, because of the changes his bodies are going through, he'll start going mad and it'll be painful. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like put me out of my misery death. But so in the greater picture, it now sounds like for the Kelpians, they're like, okay, if you aren't sucked up by this, by their not prey, but by their predator species on their planet, then you basically kill yourself or someone else in your family kills you so that you don't go crazy. But I got the feeling that like that's happened so much and so recently that no one's ever gotten past that point and discovered, oh no, your ganglia just fall out and now you're actually way better.
You level up.
Yeah, you level up.
So Daniel, as a Pokemon,
form yet.
what is Saru right now?
Oh man,
Saruaru.
Saruamon. Yeah.
That's awful.
No, it'll be interesting to see too. And yeah, it's that ending. I think worked really, really well. I didn't mean to say that I felt cheated by him not dying, because I didn't want him to die. But it would have been to me. It would have been cheap if they just built all this up, and then his ganglia just falls out on its own and it's like, I'm fine. And then they just ended it there. That would be cheap, because it's like, okay, you had all this drama. You made and of course, this also serves the dual purpose of motivating Michael to talk to Spock now. So we get to...
Can we just acknowledge that was awful and unnecessary?
Yeah,
Sloppy.
that was...
It just felt so shoehorned in.
Jessica and I were making fun of the last scene where Captain Pike's like, so Michael, you don't have to talk to Spock, and she's like, no, I've changed my mind, and we were be like, nope, sorry, we made it's locked in. I worked. Do you know how much I worked to make sure you wouldn't have to talk to Spock?
Well, see, maybe that's why I feel like this episode had 80 different plot points. If they had just taken all the Spock stuff out and all of the Michael with Spock stuff, and just even, you could still have this moment, but have it next episode or something like that. Have the follow-up where they're talking, because all the other stuff with Saru and Burnham was great, like, because we've seen their two characters really move along over these last several episodes, that from him totally not trusting her ever again because of her actions to, you are part of my, family. I totally bought all of that. It was just, don't stop. It's like, I'm dying, Berta, but before I go, Spock, we need to talk about your brother for some reason. No, we don't.
There is also one other line that totally jarred with me, where I think she says, we're friends and there will never be any judgment between us. And I was like, really? I'm pretty sure there was quite a lot of judgment earlier in season 1. Quite a lot.
Well, now, my memory's fuzzy, but
There was a part of me that was thinking when I thought like maybe it was going to happen. I'm like, so Michael's first officer now? Is that how that works now?
oh, like if he actually did pass, then it would just go to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I was a little put off by it, only because like their sudden sort of now we're family, and I'm like, well.
I like it like when the ganglia falls off. He's like, so I said a couple things there at the end.
I thought I was dying, and I didn't. Awkward, I know, but
Ignore it all.
I love you. I meant I love
ask
you.
really
I was gonna say, are we relating this to the 7 doctor conversation where the doctor thought he was dying? But all right, well,
There's also a really awkward question about what happens to the ganglia and has somebody eaten it yet.
Yeah. What happened to the other one? I just saw one. I
The
didn't see the other one.
delicacy.
that's true.
I-
Well,
You just know that Georgia is like coming in and being like, so I hear.
she's in the next episode. She might pick it up. You got any of that ganglia for me? Of course.
jeez.
So now, have we established that doctor is? I think like this. They felt like that she's now the medical officer.
She's
chief
been in every
medical officer.
episode this season so
Yeah.
far.
Because
Yeah.
it seemed like you need to see the doctor. Or I feel like it was sort of like there was like a big D or something or T. Like that's the doctor is.
Right.
And she's obviously in charge every time we go in there. And we learn this episode there's a second sick bay. She says send the other ones to sick
Send
bay
them to
2.
Which is good.
Which makes sense. I mean, there are multiple sick bays. You usually have your main sick bay and then your other sick bays.
If you have 500 science labs, you should at least have 2 sick bays. Yeah.
Makes sense.
That was
And more than
Dr.
3
Tracy,
bio
right?
beds.
Dr. Tracy Pollard, I believe.
Yeah, Pollard. I thought that was her last name. Yeah.
Do you know what else you should have?
There's also an
And I
A
just
warp
want
core, because I've yet to see it.
Yes.
but-
Okay.
or a
We need
chief
to talk
engineer.
about this and we haven't jumped to that storyline yet. But if we're talking about,
I think
things-
we are. I think we've covered the sphere and Saru's
Jump.
death. That was pretty much all encompassing. We can touch on it again, but let's go to Spore Drive and the Greenpeace movement.
So, I just want to talk about this real quick. Then we can actually get to the wider point. But he points out the door and says, "We can't even get to the warp core." And like it's right there. Like
what?
we haven't made it-
right there on the other side of this wall. They're building a set right now.
Why does nobody? Oh my goodness, that makes me so mad. Let's just whatever.
It confused me because it felt like, and again, I only watched it once. They were talking about the mushroom drive, and that's not what it's called. But like, is that the warp? I thought there was the mushroom room, and then there was the warp room.
I don't think we've yet to
somewhere
see the
else.
actual warp core, but I don't.
But apparently they're
know.
next to each other, even though they probably shouldn't be. You would think maybe not. That's good design. Maybe you'd want to keep them separate systems. Totally separate. They don't have anything to do with each other. But they're right next to each other, and we have yet to see the actual.
At the risk of being that guy, show me the blueprints. Like, where are we in the ship? Where is the mushroom room? Where's the warp? What? Someone has. Come on, guys! Blueprints. We're Star Trek nerds. This should, you knew this was going to happen.
The ship moves, Philip. It's hard. Blueprints can't show you that. They go around and around. The problem, it doesn't. It really bothers me. But it doesn't feel like they've thought it out at all, and that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, now the engineer's in here, and she doesn't understand how the spore drive works, and it's like.
But I mean, it's
Also,
obvious that Reno
Well, she's
is
a
not the
visiting
chief
engineer.
She is
Well,
still
right
just
now,
the
right, yeah.
tag-along engineer.
The forgotten about engineer, possibly.
She wasn't
hey,
here for a couple episodes. All of a sudden, she's like, "Oh yeah, who are you again?"
I know you were, the PTSD possibly, but I guess we probably should think about something to do with you.
Look, she was vying for both the chief medical and the chief engineer role and we have to get one of them to her. Okay.
Yes.
I will say though that
I'm just going to gently point out that not having a warp drive is possibly less thoughtless than having an engineering area with no
Yeah, that's
engineering.
true.
I mean, they do have a warp
So I'm
drive.
pretty
We
sure
do see them
TNG
use the
fell
warp
down that
drive.
hole.
We just haven't seen
But yes,
it set.
yes.
Yeah, but none of our primary characters happen
Okay,
to work
this is
there
the
in
only
the same way they don't work in any of the
Starfleet
other
vessel that doesn't
science
have
labs.
an engineer.
We're the only engineer that doesn't go to engineering.
TNG. TNG didn't have a chief engineer for
That's
some
true.
extended time. In fact, it had
Argyle and-
several.
yeah.
No, yeah, it's not that they didn't have it. They had several.
the thing is, we don't. The people on Discovery don't have to build an expensive set. You can CGI that crap. It's pretty easy to do at this point. Put somebody on a green screen and just stick them with a glowing light, and you're good to go.
I
we
mean,
can do
what
this
they've
now.
spent on the Shuttle Bay set is like ginormous. Like, yeah.
Look, you got your main shuttle bay. Shut up, Daniel. No.
Oh, there you go.
It's true. I guess I'm asking for too
Okay,
much.
so we have the spore thing, which was the cliffhanger from the end of last episode, and it's latched.
Very, very classic Who cliffhanger.
Yeah, so it's just there, and they contain it. Now, here's where I was scratching my head a little bit. So remember,
Just once.
yeah, just once, the spore alien has been contained in the containment room, and then the captain says, "Hey, we might need to jump. Can you get the spore drive ready?" And I'm like, how? That room is occupado at the moment with an alien that we'd have to open that door to put stamets in to connect to the spore drive. How are you planning on jumping? Answer this riddle me this, Daniel. Riddle me this.
Is the red
Don't
slot
ask me. I don't write this.
occupied? We need the
It
green
is.
vacant.
It is. But it says occupado because the universal translator is broken. So
Okay.
We never get that
was-
far.
I suppose
Yeah.
this.
I know we don't, but it was. I felt like, is there not another containment room in another room, or I don't
thought
know.
this episode, and again, I largely liked it. I didn't like 3. This one was just so busy. It was hard to be as good as 1 too. But anyway, I did like it, but I feel like this episode, in some ways, and not purposely, but just to annoy me, was trying to be like, hey guys, Daniel, I've heard your complaints. This episode, we're going to answer why we don't do this stuff in TOS. So, why don't we use the mushroom drive? We're stealing mushroom people, so we're not going to use it anymore
Yeah.
because it's unethical. Why don't we use screens? Or
Mario,
why don't we use
the
holographic
Mario
technology?
I
representative
was
came
just
over.
gonna ask that question.
Yes.
Are you suggesting?
Because it looks like ghost people.
The
We're fixing everything, Daniel.
Are you suggesting
Never talking about any of this
the
again.
mycelial network is the Mushroom Kingdom, Philip? Because
Uh-huh.
that is a wild theory, but one I can
Are you
get
saying
behind.
we are Bowser?
Is this Mushroom World 3.3? Is that what it is? Or, I don't know.
It
Wait,
is-
no, guys, it totally makes sense. We use warp pipes to get.
Oh,
Oh man, it's all
Oh,
clicking.
man.
yeah.
I feel like Jet could be the Mario sister of this universe.
But to answer your question, Philip, there are two examples of forgotten technologies in this episode. They rip the holographic communication systems out of the Enterprise because apparently it broke the ship for several months at this point. And now, of course, everybody who has watched 1 second of Discovery has thought, why is this not a thing they have in the future? Oh, I bet it's going to be some sort of environmental thing. Like, we've seen this 20 times before in Star Trek. And I'll give them a tiny sliver and say maybe they are going to do something interesting with it. But right now, it is about as generic as it's going to get. And it's just going to come down to, we couldn't do it because we were hurting somebody else. Which doesn't stop
Right.
you. Which doesn't
And that's
stop,
what they really said. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
'cause-
doesn't stop the 99% of other people in the Star Trek universe. Like, say the Romulans got their hands on the spore drive. They probably wouldn't care so much that they were killing all the mushroom people.
But apparently it also has a lot of problems because, like, 1, you need to have a ship that's specifically built to do it. 2, you need something with the tardigrade DNA to even pilot it. 3, like, you have spore creatures coming over from the other side who are pissed. Like, it's not exactly
Like species 82739 or whatever it's called.
But this is
Yeah.
all in year 1. This is why this is how technology works. This is We didn't build the first
The
atomic
Glen
bomb.
is gone.
My point is, over 100 years, this technology would improve and be made more efficient and easier. All these problems could probably be solved, but they just expect us.
But there
But
are
the highways it runs on kills plants. Like literally, it's killing other sentient creatures for us
And not
to
everybody
drive
would
on their
care?
highway.
But okay, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What are you saying about the spore drive? Do we need to have our Greenpeace boats, Lindsay?
Well, I think the Romulans would care more if some evil mushroom people were coming to kill them because they
That's
were
true.
using it.
They're called
and
Goombas.
there are
Hey, wait,
there are
Romulans' hands
examples of
aren't clean.
technology.
Remember the artificial singularities with the little creatures inside them? They didn't care about that, and they really ruined their day, so...
the Romulans are problematic on many levels, I think.
So,
But there are examples of technologies that we as a society or a species have attempted and then backed away from, because even if when we've made them safer, there's still something that doesn't ring true about them, and people don't trust them. So
I to an extent, I guess, but the problem that I have is that this technology is so much further advanced than anything close to it. Like there's nothing that like we give up on certain things because it's not worth the risk or whatever. But this has such an inherent value over warp drive, for example. The fact that you can go anywhere and be there instantly. That would not be something people would be willing to give up, especially when it's like, can you be there instantly or can you get home in 65 years? There's no like if
are you saying there's a Voyager problem?
that's what I'm saying. If Voyager had the specs of the spore
The
drive,
Equinox should have been hooking up the mushroom engine and being like, screw it.
yes,
We're out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. If this technology ever existed, it would never have gone underground, quote unquote, or whatever. There would have just, it's whatever. This is a Discovery problem. This isn't a this episode problem, but it's just.
I get the impression though that not very many people actually know it exists.
Well-
Yes, it's classified.
Yeah, it has a bit of an Omega directive kind of feel where, just like nobody's allowed to make that Omega particle because it messes up warp drive. No one's allowed to develop spore drive technology because same thing.
This is going to be a random. Can I ask a random dumb question? The alert sound in Discovery, I thought that's the black alert sound, not the alert sound. And so every time, because it happened like 5 times in this episode,
Yeah, it happened
the
a
alert
lot.
sound, I thought that was just black. I mean, apparently I'm wrong, but I'd always thought that was just the black alert
When
sound.
it's black alert, it says black alert, Philip.
Yeah,
I mean, they
but the
color code
sound-
it for you.
I didn't realize
The
it was
black
just the
lights
random
go
alert.
on, and everyone's eyes look really trippy. It's really cool.
And water trickles up. Oh, so it's just the pilot. Never mind. But anyway, yeah. I what do y'all think of Jet as a character in her
Jet
and
Brito.
Stamets's?
I liked Jet. I mean, they had an interesting banter. I put a note that I liked that they had banter and they were arguing, but they were also arguing like rational adults and they weren't really personally attacking each other. And that I
Ish.
feel is a very Star Trek thing. Like, I want, my crew to be able to argue with each other and have conflict, but I don't want them to be like 20th century fighting, where it's like this goes to blows or something. I don't know.
She still strikes me as a Star Wars character, not a Star Trek character, and that's just me. I mean, that's fine. But like her and Linus have contemporary syntax, which can be jarring and interesting. But to have both those characters be like, we're like you, I'm like, okay, well, it kind of takes me out of the universe a little bit. But yeah, it was interesting to watch their interplay and who was going to outscience the other.
Yeah, I mean, they're mad about
It's
the
a-
lithium mining and also, I mean, it's very, environmental, their conversation. And I was also kind of struck by her one line of, what'd you say?
Oh, I like that line. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
She says, "I am." Oh, now I'm going to forget.
Unoffendable.
I'm unoffendable. And
That
it's
was a
like,
great line.
You
That's a-
actually kind of are. Like, you're kind of a little Data-ish, and you're just like, not that you don't understand what we're saying, but you're just like, whatever,
Don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what we saw this week is also like a little flash of the Stamets from season 1. Like when we met him, he was very kind of gruff,
defensive
and he
of his
wasn't like anybody
technology.
who didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't take my technology seriously, then you know where the door is. So that I quite
The door to
enjoyed.
engineering's over there, guys. Just,
And it's locked.
it's locked. That's the thing. I would laugh so hard if, like, when they're not recording at one point, they open that door and they're like, there's just nothing. There's an open chasm of no set is built, and they're like, oh, now I know why this door was locked, guys.
It's the holodeck. You just see the grid design. That's all that's in there.
No, it's just that, green screen just says warp.
So what did you guys feel about the Demogorgon taking Tilly into the Upside Down?
Oh, God. That's what my wife said. I was like, oh, my gosh.
Spoilers.
That's basically what happens. You have the
Well, we don't know what happens. They haven't told
well,
us
we
yet.
saw the teaser for next week.
I didn't get a teaser.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Haha,
No.
Netflix sounds so
Gee,
cool now.
And never mind.
What's that? I'm
Yeah.
hearing Netflix stocks has just dropped 2%. Wow, that's
Yeah, it unfortunately, the teaser did make me go, oh, more short.
yeah. It's more like we have an hour to save Tilly. She's in the mycelium.
Section
network.
31.
That's basically
Okay.
what they said. We have an hour to do it.
Okay.
Well, because they opened up the thing and
Interesting.
she's gone, and I'm like,
And they didn't say it, but I assume Spock's shuttle is going to also be gone in an hour. So we have to...
We have to
maybe
really
that's
hurry up.
why they have an hour, not because it'll take that long before the portal closes to save Tilly. It's because an hour later Spock will be out of sensor range again, so we have to be back. We have to be on main mission, guys, in an hour. Okay.
Do we want to take bets now? What episode we will actually, for God's sakes, finally meet Spock? How long is this? Mid-season? Is this last episode? What are we doing?
It's gonna be I'm gonna say last episode, and Stamets is gonna be handing him a lightsaber, and he's not gonna actually say anything.
Nice. I'm actually way less interested in just meeting him, and I don't even care about that moment being over. I just want the whole whatever Michael did to Spock when he called her a meanie or
Right.
whatever. I
Right.
want that to be over. I want that stupid manufactured drama to be done with, and just like, sorry for tying your shoelaces together or whatever we did when I was.
She
12.
she did the Vulcan sign, but like this, which is actually super offensive to
Oh,
Vulcans.
it's obscene. Yeah.
It's
We've got to blur that
obscene.
out, in fact. So
Yeah.
good thing you guys can't see this, because
Yeah.
Darren was very, very rude just then.
I'll let your imagination fill in what combination of fingers were up and in what angles, but it was Vulcans, man, they would not care for that.
Shocked, I tell you, shocked.
What did you? Whatever. I'm not being what. But what do y'all think of the mushroom tripping scene, which I thought was?
Oh, you mean when
Something.
the Snapchat filters were on and their eyes were starting to grow real big? That's basically what it was. But it was.
I think I'm glad that it didn't go any longer.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
okay in the length of time it went, but I was glad it was. It was starting to get weird because it's like, your aura, are you a super being? I'm like, what are you talking about, Stamets? I don't know what's going
Again,
on.
it's a little contemporary drug reference, and I'm just like, really, 2013?
Are we not going to talk about how someone drilled a hole with a giant drill into
yeah.
Tilly's head? Because that scene was pretty
My God,
intense.
man, drilling holes in heads is not the answer.
The artery must be repaired. Well, they didn't have a label scalpel in engineering,
And-
apparently.
I'm not a doctor. I just play one on podcast, but that was really bloodless, and like it was like, nothing really came out. I guess.
And then they kind of stuck it almost on the surface. I'm like, did we actually have to go in for that? Could we just put it on, or have
I
us
think
swallow it?
That's the drill when you just try to get the hole, where you can put the bit in there. You're like, zzz, okay, now I know where I am, and then zero,
You think that's the pilot hole?
Yeah.
I am going to choose to believe that this is one of those technological advances that it might look like an old school drill that is slightly terrifying. It's actually much more controlled, and it's very much a kind of, well, it wasn't a medical instrument, it was much closer to one
Still
that we might
future drill.
expect.
Well, she
Yeah,
was.
absolutely.
I was okay because I knew that Reno had a roll of duct tape in the back and was ready to go. To
See, I was surprised you didn't have like a bottle of whiskey ready to be like, all right,
Oh, that would have made sense.
take a swig, Tilly,
but
bite
they'd
the stick. Here we go.
But they had already established that the spore was basically tripping her up, and she wasn't really gonna feel it.
So we just sang a song.
Yeah, we just sing a song
Yeah.
about Major Tom, and everybody's happy.
Not just any song, but a copyrighted song.
Ooh.
Is it? I don't know. The list just came out, right, of all the copyrights.
Well, and not only did we get a Bowie reference, but we also got a Prince reference as well in this episode.
We did.
Plenty of
classical
contemporary
music,
references.
guys. It's great. You know.
All your upcoming biopics.
So over time, more and more.
So Discovery
what-
Movie Night is what you're saying is going to be amazing because we're going to be able to see awesome.
we skipped on over Queen and Elton John and went straight to the David Bowie, which is the next one will be after that.
Look, I'm just glad it's not Beastie Boys because now this is proof that this is not the Kelvin timeline. If this had been the Kelvin timeline, we know
It has to be Beastie
it
Boys.
it's just Beastie Boys.
Oh, is it like the
The beast
what's
and
the
shouting.
the bell, or what's the telltale sign that you're still in the dream? You know.
Oh,
where-
on it's the top in
spinning top.
the
So is that
spinning
Beastie
top.
Boys?
Yes.
Lets us know.
Oh,
if
I've
we're in
been
It's like,
Inception.
what's the most popular music in this area? Oh, it's Beastie Boys. No!
I'm still in my dream.
It could be worse. There could be some kind of link between songs that have been covered by William Shatner, and that's definitely not a little.
Oh, you mean Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? That would be very apropos
No,
for this
you're
one.
right. Because he did cover Ground Major Tom, but he said it
He
like
did?
in almost like a Christopher Walken-esque pace of slowness.
That's how he does everything.
I know,
It's
but-
awful
oh,
and
man.
painful, and nobody should ever be forced to listen to any of it.
no, it's bad.
Now I just want to take that scene and edit it where it's like they start singing and then it fades into the Shatner version and everyone just cries and oh,
No.
man.
No.
And then the Discovery blowing up. And that's it.
Space Oddity, right? That's right. I always forget the actual name of the song. I always call it Major Tom or Ground Control, but I know that.
Ground control to Major Tom.
Hey, we promised we weren't going to sing anymore.
Which is really ironic that that's the song they sing, because guess what, guys? We're in space, so we're.
Space songs.
It's like
Oh,
the
bless.
people in Down Periscope singing "We All Live in a Yellow Submarine." It's a little on the nose, but all right. So, yeah. So where do we
I feel like we're missing a
feel?
plot. Isn't there 3 others or something?
What is this? What is this? Where is this going? I mean, it's obviously
Well,
going to.
We know it next episode. I feel because okay, I did look a little into next episode, which again we don't have very much information, but what we do know is that Dr. Hugh Culber is listed on the cast list.
I was about to say, surely that's where this is going.
So,
we know he's coming back.
I think they're gonna either tie off that thread, or he's gonna come back, or something's gonna happen. Because they said that not only does it connect life, it creates life. There is life. There's life in the network. Dr. Culber is life. Dr. Culber is life. They basically said all of that in this episode.
Are they like pull him from the network and now he's back or something?
but only one
Till he's
person
gonna save
can
him,
go
it's
back.
gonna be a thing.
Maybe it has to be I don't know. But I'm just saying, I would not, if at the end of next episode, Dr. Colbert is now back alive and has been pulled back from the network, I would not be surprised if that actually happened.
If that's
I'd
the
be-
case, let's just be let's just let the Discovery writers know that does not make it okay what you did. The way that he was unceremoniously killed is not
Tasha Yard.
worth just bringing him back randomly in some other time. That is not okay. I just want that to be clear and to be out
Because
there.
isn't that really? I mean, I don't know if we should just call it. I can't remember her character's name. What is the Giorgio? Isn't that just Giorgioing it? Like, great character, guys, and dead. But no, we're gonna bring her back.
So wait,
but
so
completely
technically,
different.
if you think about it, the spore drive will not only be responsible for Giorgio coming back, but also for Colbert coming back. Literally, it cheats death at every turn.
And who knows, she might bring Lorca, or he might bring Lorca with him.
I'd watch.
Whoa.
I would
be okay with good Lorca
hate
coming
watch,
back. I want to see
but
good
would
Lorca.
Yeah,
watch
I would
that.
rather have good Lorca.
Yeah.
For me, I think the thing with Culber is that if he just appears back and then the next week he's back at work and nothing's changed and everything's fine,
No.
that's where I'll struggle. If they turn it into
We need at least a couple
more
episodes
interesting
of
plot
him
line.
dealing with what I just came from beyond the veil, guys. This is
And Stamets dealing with that too, because his grief process has obviously been compromised by what's been going on. But there needs to be more to that if it's going to have some value.
yeah.
I'm just wondering what this alien's plan is. At this point, you figure
That's true.
like
She said she had a
What do you
plan.
want?
She's communicated her message, but what's her plan?
yeah, and it's like at this point she's given out the information.
Kill you all.
And Stamets is like ready. Like he's like, so, I'm sorry, I'll stop it, I'll destroy it. It'll be good. And then for whatever reason they kidnap her, and then that's That feels like
they clearly want more from Stamets. Like, I think there's a revenge element here.
Yeah.
Captain Stamets.
And while, precisely, as in they're clearly acknowledging that Stamets is in charge of this, so having got hold of somebody that they can tell that Stamets is obviously fond of, that relationship between Tilly and Stamets this season has been lovely. I've really enjoyed the way that they've built on it and kind of developed it. So I suspect there's a degree of, I've got somebody you love, I'm going to, use this to lever it against
What would
you.
you sacrifice?
Well, that's it. Or make him choose. Maybe they're going to try and make him choose. Maybe that's the kind of cruel and unusual punishment that they're going to go for.
Between the two. Oh, that's interesting. Oh.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It's a little tropish, but like, let's say Stamets and Reno, I'm just throwing someone out, like go into the Spore network. So now 3 people have gone in, Stamets, Tilly, and Reno, but only 3 can come out because only 3 went in. So do you choose, but you also want to bring Culber back out now. So what do you do? I mean, that's been done before.
You would stay with Culber in the Mushroom Network.
Well,
Actually, probably would, yeah.
Saru in.
They could put
that would be an interesting play.
They could put his buddy from the Glen on there as well too. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
His partner, basically his co-partner in the Spore project. That'd be interesting.
Oh, whose name was first on the paper? That's what I need to know.
I would be surprised if we don't put Saru into the picture for going into the network if they have to try and find a way to do it, because obviously that would work with his lack of fear these days.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like, I volunteer,
He's just, like,
guys.
going on
I
every
volunteer.
mission.
Let's go.
Every landing party.
I want to go. Let's do this. He's like tacticaled up with his vest, and he's all like ready.
Let's
to
air jump into this. Let's
slow motion style. Doves are in the background, flying.
But we know he's got, a more acute sense of vision, a more acute auditory sense. So actually, there would be some arguments that he would be a really good person to send.
Well, one last thing I'll say about Saru in this episode, because I got a feeling with a lot of what he was going through, because we talked a lot about empathy. We talked a lot about, it was very similar to, I guess, what am I saying? I'm saying I felt like this was very well done, but other things kind of like it had been done less successfully with Deanna Troi in the past. Meaning, like, they talk about empathy, they talk about him being an empathic creature, but it's none of this, like, I can read your state or your thought. I liked the visuals that they did.
It's sort of I just know you're going to die, and it's like, well, yes, we all are, but thank you.
That's not useful to us.
But the other side of that, I suppose, is that we've already seen that Saru is good at interpreting things that perhaps other people aren't seeing. So in season 1, he spots that it's Lorca's ship that's being chased.
Oh, yes, very cool.
Yep.
So we've seen kind of backstory to that empathy or that further understanding.
Yeah, and I guess my complaint, and it's one, again, I'll get about in episode 3, was that when you had the Tilly mushroom, gobble up plot, and you had the planet gonna not kill us or kill us plot, at the same time, it's hard to do 2 clocks spinning at the same time.
It was like 2
especially when
A-plots.
they're talking to each other, because they have to, like, and it's like, we're dealing with something down here. Well, we're dealing with something up here.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was like 2 A plots instead of an A and a B plot, and because like the B plot, the B plot's basically the Stamets stuff, but it's all this setup for the next episode, and then you have the A plot, which was resolved in this episode, but also set up stuff with Saru and Viva la Revolucion on his planet. So yeah.
But largely, I enjoyed the core sci-fi, shall I even say Star Trek plot of the alien rock gonna die. We don't know what it wants to do, and then we learn what it's gonna do, and then we just open computers. I mean, it's a fairly simple story in some respects that they probably could have gotten there faster in some ways, but nevertheless, the core idea I think is good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. I think we've hit all of the 85 plot points in this episode.
We haven't spoken about number 1 yet.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, number 1.
Exposition 1. Yes. So she came in. She ordered her.
Will
her
we
food.
ever get a canon name.
There
No
seems
matter.
to have been quite
She
a
has
lot of
a name.
controversy
She has a
about
name in the
this.
book.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
He said canon, Darren.
Okay.
We have to, right? Come on, don't call her
Well,
number one the whole time.
you say that.
I quite
I mean-
liked it as an homage in this episode, but if she reappears and they don't give her a name, it is going to get weird.
Yeah. Because what's
maybe,
everybody
maybe
else
her
going
name
to call
is
her?
Rebecca Romaine. Her character name as well.
What is anybody else on the ship going to call her? That doesn't. Yeah, they better give her a name, and maybe he'll.
Oh, and randomly, Commander, what's her name?
Oh,
Is just
yeah,
on
Nan.
the bridge now.
Where she's like
Yeah.
standing there at the bridge. Hey guys, I'm here too. Oh, okay.
I am also
Remember
sad
me
that
from
Saru is
episode
going to die. I will
1?
stand up as well. Yes.
In a scant, let's not forget that.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's
sure.
right.
Now is she on the Discovery now, or was she here just visiting because number one was visiting?
Well, she was in a
And-
disco
And
uniform.
are we right next to
Yeah.
Enterprise? Because apparently it's really easy to get to us. I don't know. That was pretty weird. What uniform did you say she was in?
She was in a disco uniform, so
Because I thought she was now attached onto the Discovery,
yeah.
which I like because I like her character.
For reasons.
Why ever not?
But yeah,
Yeah, no,
number
she's
one.
got-
Number one,
yeah,
it
she's
shows
really
up, and she
Yeah.
has a hamburger. So there you go.
And she likes to eat. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
I do hope we do get a lot. You know, it's just one scene, and literally, it's just talking for half a second. But you know, she's what a great character to kind of. If you're gonna do this time period, Pike and her, like this is all the sort of stuff you want to expand on. That makes it interesting and sort of gives it the flavor that you want to see.
You know what I want to see? I want to see in the finale of this season is I want to see Pike back on the Enterprise and Saru sitting
Oh
in the,
God.
and then both ships tag teaming it against whatever we need to for like solving it, because then
Marvel team up.
because now we know Pike, we know number one, you know, we'll have had more time with her, and we also have Nan, so we know 3, and Spock, so we know 4 people personally on that bridge that we've actually had time with. And then I just want to see Discovery and Enterprise just knocking the snot out of something. I don't know what it is, but that would
Maybe
be
we'll even
amazing.
meet
So
the
violent.
maybe we'll even meet the Doctor.
Look, the
from,
ganglios fell
the
out. I
cage.
want to punch the Klingon D7 right in the snoz. It's gonna be amazing. We saw a hologram of it. Maybe they're building it. Maybe it's the first time it shows up, and we just kick those Klingons to the curb.
I did like, and again, it's such a short scene, but just because the mythology of number one, even what we know from the cage, and then but her and Pike, just anytime, good Star Trek about the captain first officer relationship. What is that like?
Right.
And their dynamic was interesting. Like about you probably best you don't know.
Like,
how
yeah,
I did.
I broke the rules, but I'm not really gonna tell you. So
Yeah, but it was they have a good dynamic. How do you do this? Because this time they've been together for a couple, for several years. But what is that dynamic between the first officer and the captain? I thought, even though we got just a few seconds of it, it was something like, oh, I'd like to watch this.
And the scene when he was talking to Michael about her, you also get that sort of sense as well. Like it just reinforces that when he's like, yeah, people just tend to owe her favors. Like I just trust what she does. It just
Right.
What she does
well,
works.
she's an XO. Like
Yeah,
that's
no.
basically her job, is to make sure things get done.
Yeah.
His job is to make the decisions, but her job is to make it all happen.
So, having said that, and I agree, because she's supposed to be like Mrs. Computer based on the cage. But as that role of first officer, I did get myself distracted during this episode with Saru. I'm like, who's first officering right now? Like, who's solving the HR issues during this
Well,
episode?
if you could get a little closer to the badge, maybe the pips would tell you the tale. But I'm sorry, my resolution doesn't get that.
because
good.
again, is it Computer Lady or Michael who's next in line?
I think Computer Lady is
Is a lieutenant commander, but I don't know what the rank
but
structure
she's
or the hierarchy
she's
is.
the
on this show.
XO.
Who?
Robo Lady?
Robo Lady.
Well, no, technically Saru is both co-captain slash.
I don't know.
XO,
This is
isn't
also
he?
the Enterprise where Spock is chief science officer and number one.
Yeah.
But who knows?
We know that rank's an issue on many a Star Trek show, so we'll not get.
Yeah, because because Voyager was always bad about how everyone was sort of just slapping Tuvok around, even though he outranked everyone. But like this one, like even how Jet was talking to Sam's, I'm like, he outranks you, by the way.
Well,
So,
I mean, you could
anyway.
If we're doing it just on a rank comparison, you can kind of see because he was conscripted, like he was forced against his will. That's probably an
But he got
honorary
promoted.
title.
I noticed because he's lieutenant commander now.
Oh, really? Was he only lieutenant in last season?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Save the
Yeah,
world.
no, you're right. She
Get
is
a
a
rank.
lieutenant commander, but Saru is
Commander.
Kelpian. He's a commander, so he is.
He is Kelpian. That's not what
he
we're
is
talking
the-
about, though.
He is the second in command. So yeah, I would say if
Yeah.
you're going by rank, because obviously you can't have her.
But I'm just saying, because Michael is a commander, full commander, but she's the science officer. Computer lady's second officer.
Look, we're not
So
used to
then
having
who
two
gets the-
commanders on the bridge at all.
I know.
That never
We all
happens.
command.
Michael
If it
shouldn't
is,
be a
one's a
commander,
McDuff,
should you?
and we got to phaser him in the face.
A lot of these problems would be solved if we just removed Michael from the equation, I think, which is slightly unfortunate. But
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Well, Lindsay,
Oh,
thanks for saying what we've
you
been
wanna
saying.
open
No, I'm
up
kidding,
that
I'm
nut
kidding, I'm
right
kidding.
now?
I mean, she
that
did
was-
start a war, guys. It's like, he wouldn't be unjustified.
kidding.
she's not my favourite character, I'm afraid to say. But
Yeah.
and that's to say
Oh.
nothing against Sonequa Martin Green.
No.
But
No. They just have to make her character always have a dramatic problem. Which I get that she's the quote unquote main character.
Guys, we got to
but
wrap
we don't-
this up. Spock's gonna leave really soon, and if I can't follow that trail, we're not gonna make it to next episode. So,
Okay, all right, yeah. Let's get
so,
Spock Shuttle,
so
guys.
Lindsay, could you give us your final thoughts on an Obol for Charon?
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good episode. It was a little busy, but there's so much in there to dig into, and I'm beginning to realise that you can't always judge the sort of overarching plot points until you've seen the entire season and seen where we actually end up. So at the moment,
true.
while Michael and Spock are not my favourite bit of the show, I'm gonna put a pin in it and wait until we see where it ends up before I make my final decisions.
All right, Daniel, what are your final thoughts as we narrow these plots down to 3, maybe 4 A plots, but I think we can handle it.
You know, I'm not. Sounds like you guys were a little bit down on this episode. I did think it was a bit too dense for its own good, but I didn't think it was bad, and I really did like we've seen this sort of plot before with the whole thing. You know, I was thinking of the end scene where Pike is like going through all the information that was sent to them, and the computer's talking to him like the war between the two people lasted a celestial year, and I was like, that's some cool stuff. And he's like, Starfleet's going to be going over this stuff for hundreds of years. And yeah, like that in classic Trek, that would have just been a whole episode. Like that entire the thing, and then we have to
The
solve it.
sphere in itself was what could have been a whole episode.
It's just that in Discovery, it's just so compounded and fast forwarded and coming at your face so quick. It's tough to.
Daniel, we have a bigger story to tell.
It's
Where
only
is
like
Spock
if
Shuttle? We need to know. Yeah.
It's only as if we had done 22 episodes in this season, then maybe we would have had time to spread out these thoughts.
I'm
but
glad
that's
in
just
the
crazy
previously on we get the Red Angel Amanda stuff that is not at all mentioned in any way in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me to remember that going
And
into
it's
this.
related to
Talk.
Spock and the shuttle, so you know.
because of Spock Shuttle. Are you not paying attention? Spock Shuttle's the linchpin, Philip.
So there
It's
may
the
be
linchpin.
Accused for a crime.
there
he
may
didn't
be a
commit.
writer mandate for anybody who writes the most lines with the word Spock in it. They might get a little kickback, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see it. All right, Philip, what are your closing thoughts on this episode?
No, I was just going to pick up what Daniel was saying, which this is so, I think TOS, TNG both have done this, and maybe Voyager, but I can't remember. The whole, like, we've discovered, and we're downloading all this information that we will, of course, never mention again.
Which the
that will
Enterprise
advance our
D
society.
came across that other library that was in the Comet.
But funnily
Masks,
enough, when
Daniel, masks.
Oh
your favorite.
God.
Yeah. But
This
when
is
we
better
were
than
discovering,
Masks. This episode is
Yeah, we-
much better than Masks.
but when we were discovering through this teraquads of data, funny thing jumped out. Spock's shuttle location was like
The last thing.
in between the discovery of 20 million new stars and the history of ancient civilizations. Spock Shuttle was
All of
actually
our
right
library
there.
computers are working at 20% their maximum. What is the most important piece of information? Spock Shuttle is over there, man. Just take a left. It's right over there. We've got the cure for everything, but Spock is hanging out over there. So
I'm glad this search function really works well.
You know what? If they don't mention Spock Shuttle next week, it's going to be even funnier.
Wait.
No, like they just totally forget about it. Like, oh yeah, no, we know where he is.
Well,
We're
now
not
I'm
gonna-
wondering though, like if it's so important to get a Spock shuttle, it would be great if we had some sort of propulsion system that could take us right to it right now. I guess we'll never know. But
I'm not really sure that spore jumping is what you want to do when you've got a weird spore creature taking over people on your ship, but
look, apparently it's the level 1 problem is Spock shuttle, so I think it's justified. If they're justifying the spore drive for the Klingon War, then Spock shuttle is totally
Oh, the
on
slippery
par.
slope of these rules. It's wartime. It's Spock Shuttle time. Look, let's do. What's going on here?
that shuttle's inspection sticker is out of date. And if we do not catch up to Spock, there are going to be some serious
It's gonna get
consequences.
pulled over for a broken taillight. Oh man, this is how things happen.
that's how you catch mass murderers, though, you know.
Hey,
That's right.
you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I can see that as a plot point. We go to where the shuttle is. Turns out he's been picked up by this alien police force because of the
Oh,
broken
the Vulcans will
taillight.
have him.
Now we have to go rescue Spock.
Well, hey, Amanda did say that she was going to get him, so I wonder if we're going to catch up and Amanda's going to.
Amanda versus Empress Giorgio. We're gonna have that go on.
Oh, well, I believe that we're getting
now
Admiral
what I
Cornwall
need to
next
see-
week, too, so that could be an interesting three-way.
Now I need to see at the very end of next episode is just Jojo on her secret covert ship, and her XO is like, "Man, we found the signal. It's Spock shuttle."
Oh man,
Oh man.
the search for Spock's
Oh.
Shuttle.
Oh, that's another good episode title for this one.
As long as he's picked
do
up
that one.
the ganglia, so that, you know...
I was gonna say, but what about Spock shuttle? That was the running episode title.
Tilly, Tilly, do you know where Spock Shuttle is?
She's like, "What? Is that even what we're doing right now? I didn't even. What's going
And
on?"
can you catch it with duct tape?
Or May is all like, "I have better plans for Spock shuttle," so I can't leave Tilly. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, yeah, no, I think overall, it's not. I did enjoy this episode. I think ultimately, if I was remaking it, I would just do the sphere as like that was enough for this whole episode. You could have fleshed it out a little more for filling time, and then I would have had all of the Tilly spore stuff be like in another episode. Now I understand that you do have to look at Discovery really as a whole, because that's how they're shooting it and making it. So I'm sure when we watch, when we get to the end of Discovery season 2, it'll all click, and it's like, yeah, there really wasn't another place to put that, kicking off, especially since next episode seems to be all about what that set up. But all that said, I did enjoy it. It was a lot, and it feels kind of hard to rewatch for me, maybe because I'm just more used to there being like the A plot, and the B plot instead of the 2 A plots. So it's like, if I'm looking back through Discovery and being like, oh, do I want to watch the one with the sphere? I'm not really going to think that. I'm going to think like, this is the one that just had so much in it. But maybe time will change that. I don't know. But still, overall, pretty good. I'm looking forward to next week when we go into the Upside Down. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, well.
And maybe number 1 comes back. She's not 11, but she's number 1. So we got the numbers thing going.
Well, what I was
All
thinking
makes
was
sense.
if you have Amanda that goes into the Upside Down, Amanda was played by Winona Ryder in 2009.
Oh my gosh.
So there you go.
The parallels are so dense. It's exactly what's happening.
Wait, so is Stamets going to set up a series of lights there in the mushroom room? Tilly, where are you?
There'll be musical
geez.
lights.
Well, we're talking about the photo. See, we should have done Saru's point of view in this episode, because he said he saw those ultraviolet lights, but instead they look like Christmas tree lights on the ceiling.
You get a
A
note
little
with
too on
each
the
one.
nose, maybe, but All right. Well, Lindsay, thank you for joining us. Where could people find you on this internet if they wanted to talk to you about Spock Shuttle?
They're welcome to find me on Twitter. The best place to do that is at LHA_again, and that comes up as Angsty Happy Dance.
And Philip, if someone wanted to talk to you about Spock Shuttle, where would they find you on the internet?
If they have the time, they won't be able to get it, but if they can find my handle at NC Public Servant, I'll be more than happy to. Oh, hold on, I'm getting out of range.
Da, 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 da. And Daniel, if someone wanted to talk to you about tripping on spore drive spores, where would they find you?
I tell you what, I've had a lot of highs in my time, but nothing like in that compartment that's
Look,
right
get
next
over
to
here,
main
Daniel.
engineering.
Okay, there you go.
I don't think we have talked enough about the fact that, Daniel's mushroom icon. This is on the mushroom ship here.
Yeah, there you go. No, I really like the idea that the mycelial network is the Mushroom Kingdom and I'm a massive Nintendo
Totally
fan.
is. Totally
So
is.
if you want to talk about Mario on Star Trek, you're crossing like literally my two favorite things in the universe.
I'm just hearing the overworld music now, like do 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 do.
Yeah, but see, when we go to the upside down, it's going to be like, in warp zone.
Oh.
It's the underground. Now I'm gonna be singing that to myself the entire time you're in. Be like, why are you laughing so much, Darren? Oh,
I know when they use the when they do a jump with the mushroom engine, then you just have the star music.
No, it actually makes more sense to actually make the warp pipe noise.
Or the rainbow, or the warp flute, or engage warp flute.
Oh my god, somebody's done that. I'm sure it's on the internet. But if it's not, please let me know. I would absolutely love to do it. And you can find me on Twitter at @OneUpDan. That's the number 1 and not the word.
And if someone wanted to talk about where was the red thingy in this episode, they can find me on Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DRSCIFI. Oh, well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. This is actually a lot of fun talking about this episode, which maybe we just need more of these in-between episodes. They're not the best episode. They're not the worst episode. But boy, do we have a lot to talk about. And Spock Shuttle. I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gelfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And I'm Lindsay.
Stranded here, looking for Spock Shuttle on City Alpha 3.
Come!